This video is intended for viewers aged 13 and up. If you are not 13 yet, please leave.
Oh, hey, Airazor, I didn't see you there. I didn't even know you got a new mold. How's it treating you?
Oh, you know, the works, especially since us Beast Wars characters have been getting some of the best new molds out of this line.
I've heard a lot about your new wing joints.
Oh yeah, those things really make it much easier to fly now. It's been great.
What?
Waspinator, we're kind of having a conversation right now. We don't really have time for a fight with the Predacons. Sorry, come back later.
No, I will not allow Autobots or any of their descendants to learn to fly. And I am not Waspinator. I am Lord Starscream of the Decepticon Armada!
That's probably not good. What, you don't like us because you don't think Autobots should fly?
Yes! Air superiority has been the key to Decepticon success for centuries, and now that you're taking it away from us, what else will we have?
I don't know, maybe being able to fly will allow us to level the playing field so that our battles are won based around skill rather than just having wings when other people don't.
Yes, that is how it should always be. I am inhabiting this body so that I can come back and assassinate you, so that no one in your lineage can ever fly again.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't work, because I'm able to fly. I've got a jetpack too. It's currently in the shop right now, but I'll be able to pick it up later. What? Yeah, and I thought there were some flying Autobots too, like that one flying Autobot team, you know?
Oh yeah, and Windblade, she's great.
I cannot stand this. They're replacing us flyers with inferior versions of ourselves. I cannot stand this!
Shut up. Best to just ignore him, I guess?
Yeah. Hopefully Waspinator will be back soon.
Yeah, I like him way more than Starscream.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kanohii Miniga, and welcome back to the Kanohii Miniga Reviews Beast Week. As you know, we've been going over the Beast Wars figures this week since I've been out of town. And I didn't have time to script something before, so we are here reviewing Beast Wars figures. Today we are looking at a character whose new Kingdom figure has become a easy fan favorite, I guess. So I was excited to get my hands on it, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Today we are looking at Kingdom Deluxe Class Airazor. With one R. Make sure you're spelling that right. Yeah. As per usual, we're starting off in Beast Mode. It's not how she comes packaged at first, but yeah. And starting off here, the painting and the sculpting here is pretty good. Not as good as some of those first wave compatriots, but as a deluxe, I think it works very well. The painting is all clean, but there isn't too much. Again, I think that's a good thing for Transformers. I think things are hidden in this mode decently well, as for a bird. For a bird mode, things are hidden pretty well. Yeah. Yeah, let's hopefully get a little bit more in-depth with this bird. This is a cute little bird head. I do really like it. It does have an opening jaw. I'm going to cover it here because it's very hard. It's hard to open, but it does open, I assure you. But since this is a mini review, I'm not going to put the effort into opening the beak, whatever. But the decals all over this face are really good. The white here at the front, or like the off-white, it's an off-white. Works really well as like a different shade of feather, and it's very cleanly painted. Same goes for the eyes. The black with like the high gloss black, which allows for like a bit of light to shine on with like a nice natural light. There might even be a little speckle of like paint in there as well to help support it. I think there is. And there's like the little off-white rings around it. I think it works very well. It's also a very good shape for a bird head. I just think it's a very good bird head, all things considered. You know, it is a good bird head. We're going to look at the back on its own because it's a fine back. It does show a bit of the legs a bit much, showing that she's just kind of crouching down. But I think it works pretty well. This is supposed to tab in. I've had a hard time tabbing it in, though, because of clearance issues or whatever. But that might be a me issue. I suck at Transformers anyways. Ugh. But yeah, it's supposed to kind of hinge back probably a little bit more, but I transformed it on the fly, so... yeah, it's a fine back. I do like the little shades of brown here. I wish it was a bit more kind of constant throughout the rest of the feathers, but it works. It works for where it is, though it is a bit heavy-handed. Looking here at the chest, yeah, this is a kibbly little butt, but I think it pulls it off all right. Of course, this is mainly for the robot mode, which, again, is the mode I prefer, but yeah, it's a bit messy. I don't like this robot mode as much as others, but I know what really takes away this robot mode or whatever, makes it stellar. But moving to the legs, which is not that, they're fine legs. They look like bird legs. They're a bit mechanical, but that's just because Airazor's legs are mechanical, and she has, like, missiles. But we'll get to those later, because those are technically accessories. However, what people really like about this figure is its wings. Like, holy crud, those are some crazy wings. They look very natural, they look very nice, and they're massive, too. The tips have, like, a little bit of the same detailing, but it's done a lot better, I feel, than the back. It's got an extremely wide wingspan for such a small figure. For like a deluxe, that's honestly on the smaller side. This is where all the plastic went. However, people also love it for the articulation. It's able to look extremely natural and is able to do a variety of bird poses thanks to it needing these hinges for transformation. But yeah, overall I think it looks very good. It looks very natural. I like how the feathers kind of layer on each other. I love how some of the feathers lower down have a bit more detailing. I just think it looks very nice. It's a very good winged falcon thing. It's a good wingspan. Oh yeah, on the inside of the wings, adding to that, there's a bit of like white detailing, which kind of goes along with the white fur there, or not fur, feathers. But yeah, those are nice feathers. They're good feathers. Yeah, I think they're good. I think they're good. Yeah, good feathers. Good feathers. So yeah, overall, I think the look works pretty well. I think it's a bit kibbly. Some people have been saying, "Oh, this is perfect. It meshes perfectly well." I think it's a bit blocky under the wings. All things considered, I kind of wish it was able to be a bit more round here, but it's fine. It does look a bit much like a figure crouching down, but it looks good. But where I feel a lot of people are really blown away is by some of the articulation here in bird mode. So let's get to that. Starting off, her head is on like a swivel hinge where it's able to swivel side to side and is able to hinge up that far so it can do a nice flying pose, but also hinge down so it can be like a yeah. We'll save the wings for later because I want to get to the legs. The legs are kind of simple. They're pegged into the side so you don't get the full waist, but you can move them up and down slightly. You can move them here at this weird joint a bit, though it's a bit clickety-clackety, and the feet are on ball joints, because, yeah. Moving on to the wings, these are some stellarly articulated wings. So I'm going to start from the tip. It's the same on both sides for the wings. So these large tip areas are on kind of mushroom peg swivels, which allows them to go out that far and back in, which mimics what a bird does. And then there's a hinge here, a hinge here, a hinge here, a hinge here, which allows for some extremely accurate flapping movement. You know? Which I just think is stellar. It allows for, like, poses like this to be pulled off, where, like, everything else looks a bit awkward and, like, unlifelike. But the wings really add just, like, a level of lifelikeness to this bird mode that isn't really seen elsewhere in this mode, you know? I just think the wings are neat, you know? It can also have its wings furled in on itself, which I just think is a nice detail, thanks to all that articulation. But yeah, overall, this is a great bird mode. It's a bit kibbly on the bottom, and I feel like it doesn't work as well as some people say, but it is really good, all things considered, especially since it's a fembot. Like, seriously, this is the best fembot I own. Yes, I know I own Black Arachnia, but still, this is the best fembot I own. Those two are the best fembots I own. I only own 2 fembots, though, so... because I've passed on all the others, because they all suck. Well, I guess I have the one from the combiner, but whatever. It's not as good as this. But these Beast Mode female characters have been working pretty well, honestly. So yeah, I do think this is a worthwhile bird mode. However, let's get to the thing that I'm really here for. The final robot mode. But to get there, we gotta go through the transformations. Let's do that. Unlike last time, I actually feel this transformation is kind of enjoyable, all things considered. I like furling the wings out a little bit, just to make sure that they're out of the way. From there, we can unconnect the leg hips there. They might have already come undone for you. And then you can kind of furl them down like so, unhinge that, swivel around the foot so that the pointy bit is out like so rather than the bird foot. And then you want to swivel it around like so. And also take off these, put them to the side. Oh no, parts forming up. Oh no, they're weapons. They're weapons parts forming, so it's okay. And you don't really need them for either mode anyways. And do the same on the other side as I just did. But yeah, you don't really need those, so in either mode, it just helps a bit. So it's okay as parts forming in my opinion. From here, you're going to want to unfurl the arms. So you want to unpeg them from these holes. You can see how there's a little tab and like a little, how there's a little tab here and a little slot there. You're going to want to undo that. Unbreak the arms so that's in its proper place. Swivel it around so that it works nice and swiveled, and then you're going to undo the shoulder pad. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Nice and simple. Not that hard, you know? All that jazz. From there, you're probably going to want to swivel this around so that the crotch is at the front. And then you're going to want to unfurl the back. If you're me, it's already untabbed because I don't know how to fully tab it in. And then you're going to work at bringing it down while also doing a bit of a dramatic head reveal. But I'm going to swivel the head around, which pretend you didn't see that. And you're going to want to hinge it, use these double hinge to kind of furl it down onto itself and then tab it back in a bit, you know, and whatnot. And then we get to the back of the wings. You're going to want to essentially box it up like so, and then there are tabs here and slots there. You're going to tab it into the slots. Though, if you want, you can unfurl the wings. I'm just doing like the official mode here. And yeah, we got her shorter robot mode wings. This is why those tabs are here, so that you can furl it perfectly like so. And from there, you want to add the parts forming cannons back onto the 5mm ports on her arms. And yeah, it doesn't really matter which is which. It's the same part. It's the same part. It's the same part. It's the same. And then you're going to want to swivel her head around for a nice dramatic head reveal if you choose to do so. If you didn't, you're fine. You're just dead to me, you know? Yeah. And there. Kingdom Deluxe class Airazor. And yeah, this female robot, whatever, looks fan-freaking-tastic from all angles. In the front, you see she looks very good. Nice painting, nice sculpting, nothing too egregious in either way. And then we look at the back, and that's a clean back right there. Yeah, it just looks like the back of her show model. The wings are here because they're supposed to be here. The back is feathered because I feel like it would be a bit feathered in the show anyways. And yeah, the only real egregious bit is the back of the feet, which I understand why it's like that, given that the feet become the feet. But they have to look like different feet. But yeah, let's get in a bit closer, shall we? I think the head looks freaking amazing. From what I've heard, the purple skin on the face, well, it's not skin, it's metal, whatever, is inaccurate. I don't mind too much, but to me, it overall looks like it. The sculpting looks great, but there have been like slight changes that really add to the shine. I love the way that that she has like on her head like a feather crest that kind of jets back. That makes her look really aerodynamic. And I love like the way that the beak kind of becomes like the top of a helmet. I think it looks great. Her eyes also look really good. They're nice and clean. The black and the green works very well. She has this kind of like chin goatee, I guess, but like, I don't know. And these orange bits are also really clean, just kind of jutting out. Though I think it's a bit thinly painted on my copy. That might just be a personal copy issue. Moving on to the chest, everything seems perfectly integrated. I was kind of worried that the bird chest would look a bit off. Because, I mean, it's not accurate to the show. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a lot more like Dinobot's chest. but for a bird, but I think it looks fine. I don't really mind too much. It does kind of look a bit feminine, but not too much, which is why they're using it for a male figure as a repaint later on. But I think it looks fine. The orange plastic looks very nice and is like, and like all the browns and oranges are nice, like tonal differences compared to a lot of my other Transformers. I think the only other orange Transformer I own is like Grapple, and like he's just like a slab of orange. I feel like the more natural tones alongside this orange really helps her and a lot of other Beast Wars figures, like I've said, and like I will say later on, stand out in my collection. But yeah, the painting is very nice. I think it works very well. Yeah. And like the gold still looks good even when it's painted and sculpted. I think it fits overall with each other, and yeah, it just looks good. The arms are technically asymmetrical, but it doesn't matter. The difference is really only one thing. The tiny little maximal symbol. They're doing all these tiny faction symbols that are expertly painted on and they look perfect. It's insane how good they look, you know? But yeah, overall, the shoulder pads, I love the shaping of them. However, what I don't like is that when you pull the arm up, they go down. It has the problem that I thought that Optimus Primal would have, but he didn't have it. But this figure does have that problem, which is a bit annoying. I love how like these upper arms are just painted, and you would barely notice, but it's there, and it's very well done. Like, I'm surprised that like they painted that. At least I think it's painted. If it's not painted, then it's a very matching color to the paint down here at her legs. The gold also looks nice. I think the gold matches relatively well, though not perfectly, whatever. And then the lower arms, they've got nice technical detailing. This side, again, does have a tiny little maximal symbol. It's not super clear on the footage here, but it's perfect. It's a perfect maximal symbol. And the hands are alright, too. Moving to the waist and, like, the legs, I think the colors pop again. Again, it's doing the thing where, like, the upper legs are the robot bits, lower legs are bird bits, though the lower legs feel a bit more robotic. As I mentioned, it didn't really fit with the bird mode, but I feel like it fits really well here. I think this is just stellarly done, you know? Though these like to hinge up a bit too easily. I wish that was done a bit better. And the back of the feet do kind of clash with the rest of the design, but I honestly don't mind too much. I love how cleanly it's painted here, and like I can barely notice the hollowness here in the inside, so it's good. And I like the way that this kind of goes up. It does reveal a bit of mushroom peg engineeriness, but I just think the gold looks nice. Everything looks nice on this figure. It's a very well done figure. Yeah, it's super well done. Yeah. Again, I think this robot mode looks absolutely magnificent. I think it's my personal favorite mode out of the 3 bits of the bot: the transformation, the bird, and the final robot mode. But yeah, I think it's my favorite mode out of the 3. Now, this is again where we would usually hit accessories, but I don't think she technically has any. I mean, those wrist rockets kind of count because they are removable, but it doesn't really count. I don't really count them because they're gonna stay on the arms anyways, which means we get to go into articulation right freaking now. Head is on a ball joint, but it's on a really good ball joint because she's a flying character. Can't look down. Well, it can look down a really good amount, and it can look up a hell of a lot so that she can get good flying poses. And it can tilt a decent amount, and it can do the full swivel, you know, everything you would want a head ball joint to do, and a little bit more. Shoulder pads are on individual hinges, though they are very much determined by these. The arms can go out all the way that far. They can swivel all the way around, though they are stopped by the kibble a bit, though you can slightly hinge it out of the way to make it work. This figure does have a bicep swivel, which is very nice to see. It has a singular bend, which allows it to go a little bit further than 90 degrees, and the hands don't have mushroom pegs, which is a bit annoying, but they are able to hinge up and down, which, if she had a gun, I think would be worthwhile, but she is like one of the only characters who has like wrist-mounted weapons, so yeah. Waist is on a mushroom peg, which allows it to do a full swivel. Nothing gets in the way of it. Crotch has a hinge. These are on mushroom pegs, but are also on essentially universals, which allows them to go out way farther than usual when doing the splits. Allows it to kick forward super far, allows it to kick back super far, and yeah, these are good hips. She doesn't have a thigh swivel, but she kind of does. It's really close to the joint. It's like the new Bucky figure from the Disney Plus Marvel Legends wave, where it's technically a thigh cut, but it is super low. And she has a single jointed knee, but it's able to go super far, which allows her to do a lot of nice, magnificent flying one-leg poses. Yeah? This bit is able to hinge forward, but I don't really like that. And the feet are on ball joints, which does allow for a tilt, but not the greatest tilt. Unfortunately, not all of these guys have been getting great tilts. That might change later. I don't know. Who knows? So while she doesn't really have the best joints out of anyone, there are some characters who have way more complex joints in this line. She has some of the best articulation here, and it's insane because she is a fembot, which they are usually pretty shafted. But she's been doing great. She's overall just a great figure. She's one of my favorites. I mean, I've been liking all these Beast Wars characters a lot, if you haven't been able to tell, but she has been one of the best. She has great articulation, great sculpting, great painting, great everything. I wish she came with a couple more accessories, but she's just a great figure. I definitely recommend you pick her up, as even if you're only getting a couple figures, definitely try to pick up Airazor if you can find her. You might be able to find her a bit easier though, because if you're competing against kids at your toy store, a lot of boys aren't going to want to pick up female characters, which is unfortunate because female characters are great. But yeah, do I recommend this figure? Hell yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you like this review, because next time we're going on to the final episode of the Beast Week. Beast Week. Ugh. And in doing so, we are looking at a figure that doesn't even seem like a fan favorite figure of the line, but is overall really good. And they're a fan favorite character, so of course some people are going to be a bit partial to them. I'll see you next time.